everybody. Today's class is called Gather Around the Fire. So today we are going to be tapping into our internal fire, and kind of like how you see on my, okay, start over. Sorry, I forgot to close the door. Billy, come here. Come here, baby. Oh my God. Oh my God. Billy, come on. Come back. Okay. Be good. Okay. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. It's okay. 45-second delay. No big deal. All right. Take two. I just got to check again because it's freaking me out so much that the record isn't in the right. Why would they move that? I get it. It's fine. All right. And one more little crack for me. Awesome. All right, that feels good. Welcome to today's class. Today's class is called Gather Around the Fire. And so we do have a playlist that goes along with the class. You can find that on my Spotify Yogi Plunk. It's called Gather the Fire, that playlist. And you'll want to pull that up and just put it on pause for now. We'll wait to get it started. But today's class, Gather Around the Fire, relates to our solar plexus, this third chakral region. So this area is often represented by, just like my shirt here, the element of fire. And fire is a very cleansing element. It clears the pathway for new growth. It's also a very light element. Another thing about fire is it's like this eternal bonding thing between all people, right? Think across cultures and all of us gathering around the fire. And what happens when we gather around the fire? Lots of communal stuff, but particularly storytelling. It's where we share our stories. So also with today's activation of our fire, of our flame, we're going to want to gather it together. And so that we not only feel the physical benefits of that fire, but so that we can also feel a sense of gathering our own community from within and even cultivating this sense of gathering around the fire within ourselves so that we can practice this message of ahimsa and non-harm towards ourselves and treat ourselves as a loving community. And if we can treat ourselves as a loving community, I think when we're all ready to get out of quarantine, we'll maybe have a better shot at forming our own loving community. So without further ado, let's get started gathering around the fire. I am here with my lovely wife, Allie, who is going to be demonstrating for us. I'll be mostly instructing, but joining her every now and then for a few of our moves. And I just want to note, it's very hot here in Philadelphia today, and we do not have air conditioning. So she is a real champ for doing this for me. Let's get started on our back. And you're going to come down to the ground. Laying here on the floor, go ahead and bring your hands to this diamond position and rest it over top of the solar plexus. So you'll even find that your palms are right here around the two bony frontal hip points, those ASISs, and your thumbs have joined just around the belly button region. Now your pointer middle fingers are joining and pointing down towards the pubic symphysis here, where these two sides of the ilium come and meet each other. And then breathe into this magic diamond, this fire, so to speak, and we'll gather around that flame, allowing that inhale to come in and creating that full exhalation. Draw in again around the flame, around the fire. Feel the tailbone rooting towards the heels. Feel this gathering together. As you breathe it in, let the expansiveness happen. As we've learned in this core module, our core is so much more than just that abdominal wall. Of course, there's transverse abs, there's abdominals, big important part of the core, but we're also talking about sidelines of the body between the ribs, there's obliques into the intercostals, back into our multifidi, all this wonderful stuff supporting the low back. So as you breathe into your diamond, I want you to imagine really bellowing up into that space. And then with the next exhale, go ahead, pull into that diamond, then press into your feet and root your tailbone to your heels, rise up to that low bridge pose. So we just want to feel the sensation of ramping up our posterior chain. If you need to give yourself a little pat and tap, yeah, let them wake on up. And then from here, you can bring your arms by your side, want you to bring your mind to the big toe mound where that big toe plugs into the floor, and then start to lift and lower your heels here. So we're going to be doing little heel bops, just like Allie's doing so wonderfully for us. I want you to spread those toes, really feel an opening here. This is stoking the fire, right? So if we're going to gather around the fire, first we got to gather it all together. We got to gather the supplies. We got to get these biggest movers ready to go for us, the glutes. And so how are those glutes feeling for you? Pretty fired up? Awesome. She's giving me a good response. So I imagine at home, if you're doing this, you're probably feeling it too. Let's keep the heel bop going, but take our hands up to the ceiling and stretch our wrists. So you're going to come open with that hand, take one hand across the four fingers of the other and pull it back towards your face. Doesn't matter which hand you start out with. We'll get them both. Take your thumb and really pull it away from the center of the palm as well. Feel a huge opening underneath the hand, this real sense of spreading. And although you're opening up the wrist, keep on going with those heel bops. So keep that moving. Let that first wrist go, maybe circle it a few times, go both directions, and then switch hands. Whole time here, as you pull back on the fingers, thumb pulls away, we're drawing into that fire, gathering around the fire, putting that kindling into it, so to speak, preparing our stories going through the week, maybe even hearing some own stories in our own head as we do this move. And so just not judging them, but noticing what stories come up as we begin this fire. And then you can bring your heels down, and I just want you to feel all that heat that's resonating through the posterior chain. She gives me that nod like, yes, I'm feeling it. We'll let that second wrist go, circle it a couple of times here. Then we'll bring our arms back by our side. And even though you don't have the hands in that diamond anymore, I still want you to feel the echo of that diamond around that space. Exhale, draw into the fire, gather around it, and then lower one vertebrae at a time. And then eventually the sacrum will come to the ground and we'll still feel those natural curves in the back, that low back, that little lordosis, that lordosis of that neck, or kyphosis of the shoulders. Bring your hands behind your head, interlace your fingers, and we are really gonna fire it up here with probably the fieriest move that there is for core, the juicer. So legs up in the air, and your knees don't have to be straight, but I want you to feel like you have a lot of vitality in them. Like really spread those toes. Feel like an electrical current's coming through them. Bring those elbows in. We'll relax our head into our hands. So legs are up again. They don't have to be straight. We still want to feel that spine nice and long with those natural curves. Big inhale here. Exhale, draws into the core, lifts the shoulder blades up off the mat. And so as we lift our shoulder blades here, we're going to hold that space of the diamond. Lower your right leg just a couple of inches here, maybe as low as like 30 degrees, and then cross right leg under the left leg. So squeeze your thighs together here, really get them going. Then uncross that right leg, bring it back up, inhale and lower. Really good job with that. If you need little inhales and exhales while we're working through that, you're working on that exhalation, that retention, feel free to take them. Think of pulling into that fire, that diamond. Big inhale here. Exhale, lifts up. So shoulders lift up, left leg lowers a couple of inches, maybe as low as 30 degrees, cross it under that right leg, squeeze those legs together. Now scoop your tailbone just a bit and feel even more pulling into the diamond. Uncross the legs, bring it back up, unscoop tailbone, inhale and lower. Already that fire really starting to heat up, I'm sure. So exhale, draw in and lift. Right leg lowers, we're gonna add on a little bit here. Cross that right leg under the left leg, squeeze them together, scoop that tailbone, and then twist to the left. So as you twist to the left here, you're just staying off that left shoulder blade, feeling that fire in the sideline of the body. So good. Come back through center, uncross legs, inhale and lower. Exhale, lift, shoulder blades lift up. Left leg lowers, cross it under the right, squeeze them together, scoop that tailbone, now twist to the right. As you twist to the right, like Allie's doing so wonderfully here, keeping that scapula off the floor. That's awesome. I see those toes alive. Uncross the legs, untwist, inhale, and lower. So take a breath in here. We are going to add a pulse onto it. So that pulse is going to be that twist, and we're going to come up an inch and then bring ourselves a little bit down, but try not to let the shoulders lower. Come up an inch, a little bit down. We'll do 3 of those in a row. Getting ready. Big inhale here. Exhale, draws in, lifts shoulders up, right leg lowers, crosses under left, squeeze those legs together. Really get the juice out, root the tailbone, twist, and then pulse up and bring it down a little bit. Yes, up, down a little bit, up and down. And then uncross the leg all the way down, back through center, inhale. One big breath here. exhale and lift. So lift up, shoulders come up, left leg lowers under the right, squeeze them, scoop tailbone, twist to the right, and then pulse it. So up an inch and back down and up an inch and just down to where you started and up an inch and down, then through center, legs uncrossed. Inhale, pull your knees in for a second. So just give yourself the wrap into the knees. Yeah, give yourself a nice little pull in. Take them from side to side. And we're just gonna get one more on each side because it's always gotta be two more than you maybe would have done if you were doing this on your own. So send your legs on up, hands behind the head, elbows in. Inhale here. Exhale, draw in, right leg lowers, cross it under the legs, squeeze them, scoop tailbone, twist to the left. Now lift and lower, pulsing, one more and lower. Come back through center, leg comes up all the way down. So good. One more, everybody, killing it. Lift, exhale, lower that right leg, cross, left leg, cross it underneath, twist to the right, and we're gonna lift, lower, uncross the legs, come down. Look at her, she's so good. I cued the wrong leg and she just knew what to do, trusting her body, gathering around the fire and trusting her own story that she's been telling herself coming to the mat every single week for over a year now. All right, yes, pull your knees in towards the torso. And now let's open up the heart a little bit. So you should be feeling some fire helping to clear that pathway. That was a lot of clearing we just did. Let's move it up into the heart here. So we'll move our legs all the way over to the right with us. If you're doing a cannonball here and you're really being in that fetal position, we'll be doing our little supine twist. Reach the right arm out, left arm comes on top, and we're gonna take a nice big circling of the arm. So as you circle your left arm up and around, you'll notice we have a little wall here in the way. So Allie can goalpost her arm to try and avoid that wall, but you're welcome to keep that arm nice and long if it feels good. Goalposting it, bending the elbow can help you get a little more range of motion. And just allow yourself to breathe here as you peel that open. We're feeling that space in the low back. Again, using all that heat that we generated, that drawing into the diamond. And we're gonna check in with that a few times this class to really open up the heart. Next time that left hand comes back, you can grab your knees again, come back through center, and we'll bring ourselves over to the left. Now, give yourself plenty of space there. Again, we got that wall, but we'll have our left arm out, right hand comes on top. And again, with the knees in close, you're gonna start to circle that right arm back and around. Awesome, she's got plenty of space, but you can still bend that elbow, anything that feels good for us there. Big thing here is that what Allie's doing is such a lovely job of keeping this low back nice and long here and not allowing herself to create that rotation around the pelvis, but it's really up here into the ribs. So you're doing a really great job with that thoracic mobility. We'll bring ourselves, you're welcome, back through center. You're doing all the hard work, thank yourself. So now we can come to hands and knees. One core series because it was a vicious core series. Let's come down to hands and knees. We'll come to our quadruped. And in our quadruped here, I just want you to connect to the floor and breathe really, really fully. So just take a full inhale here. And as you inhale again, bring your mind to that diamond. Draw that diamond up and support the low back. Feel the side ribs pulling in together. You want to press your hands into the ground. Nice job. Grip those fingertips into the floor. Really feel the shoulder blades resting on the back ribs. This is so good right here. And then as you're lifting that diamond, also feel that throat lift into the back of the neck. This alignment is looking really solid. Now, from here, we're going to start to practice some of our moves today. So today, gathering around the fire is also going to be about finding freedom, right? So with another inhale, I want you to tuck your toes and then exhale, pushing the hands, pushing the toes, and hover your knees. Just like you see Allie here, really try to do that without changing anything in the spine here, maintaining that balance, getting that lift in the core, right? Fire is a light element. Think of like a hot air balloon. How does that thing go up? That fire, that heat from within. We'll bring those knees down, big inhale here. And then this will be different as you exhale, gather into the core, and we'll start to crawl forward. So move your right hand and your left knee forward, and then your left hand and your right knee forward. You can go again, right hand, left knee, left hand, right knee. Then you might start to run out of space. So let's go back with the right knee, left hand, and then right hand, left knee. And then just think left, right. That's a nice, easy way. And if you've run out of space, you'll go forward again, left, right. But switching up, opposite hand and leg, getting a little bit of cross neural firing, tapping into both sides of the body and using this gathering of the fire to gather our whole body together to really be able to move ourselves the whole way through. Awesome job. Now continue to move like that. And one more option here is you can take an extra exhale, tuck the toes. You might even start to hover your knees as you crawl. So I'll be honest, this is definitely a little extra. And this hover the knees and crawl move, for my money's worth, is maybe one of the most challenging moves that we have available to us today. So see how you're liking that. You're gonna feel a lot of shoulder stability. Keep pressing into the palms. Keep the head of the arm bone nice and centered there. So good. And keep that core engaged. And then let's all find ourselves back on the mat. Now that those shoulders are really warmed up, come right down, forearms on the ground for dolphin. So for dolphin, I personally like to use a block at its lowest height and its widest setting. What I do is I take my thumb and my pointer fingers here, I put them in the southeast and the southwest corners, and it gives me something to keep my shoulders wide, but to wrap my elbows in around. So you can have that block in between your hands, or you could just go without it like Ali is here. A third option is take your fingers, interlace them, and then use that interlacing of the fingers to wrap your elbows in and around it. But come to your dolphin with the forearms down. Our elbows have replaced those palms. Press into the forearms, spread between the shoulder blades, release the neck. Take another inhale here, and then exhale. Lift into the core, belly draws up and into the low back. We hover the knees and then hoist the pelvis on up. Really good. Press down into those forearms. Wonderful. Just like you see here, feel the low ribs lifting in, and every inhale, see if you can breathe more into the sides of the ribs, get that spaciousness there. Then we'll bring our left foot a little bit more into the center. The right leg will lift an extension, and it's in line with the right heel or hip here. Now bend your right knee and roll your right thigh into external rotation. So just like you see how Ali's doing here, getting a wonderful external rotation without tipping in that pelvis. Take one more big breath here. Close off that right hip, lower the right leg, bring that left leg into extension. Inhale here, bend that left knee, roll that left thigh out. Nice, good. Feel that external rotation. Feel the weight is still pretty even between those forearms, both pressing firmly down into the ground. Good, one more breath here, and then close off that hip. Left foot comes down, child's pose, knees lower, sit it back. Anything that feels good in child's pose here, if you like to sit back in the hips, or if you'd prefer less hip flexion and to stay up a little bit higher, it can be nice to put your block under your forehead as an alternative there. And as we're breathing here, I want you to take that full inhale, full exhale. Keep pressing the arms slightly down into the floor. Again, like a flame in that hot air balloon, allow the inhale to bellow the flame and to fill up into the whole back. And then with the exhale, that magic power that fire has, draw it all back together. Fire draws in, it seems to pull that energy in just as much as it emits that energy. It's a giver and a receiver. And so we'll bring ourselves forward. Excellent. And then from here, we'll make our way to the top of the mat. So go ahead, step it on up, and we'll rise up. Now is a really great place to get that playlist started. So again, gather the fire. If you want to go with that Spotify, you can pause this and just go find that real quick. Feel free to have a couple blocks near the top of the mat. You'll notice, Ali, she's got a lot of range of motion, so she won't necessarily grab them for a bunch of different poses, but know that you can use them, and you'll see me in the demonstrations grab them as well. So feel free to feel empowered with those as much as possible. Again, though, great example of everybody's practice, can use different tools to take it to the ultimate place, right? We all gather around the fire. We share our stories from the day. We might have come up with a new way to collect berries or something like that that we want to share with the group. So feel free to bring your own unique ideas into that class. And we'll experience that at the end with a very special freedom move inspired by one of my personal favorite teachers and a really good friend of mine, Ariel. So I'm very excited for us to get there. But let's get there by starting at the top of the mat in our mountain pose. With your arms by your side, first bring your hands to your flame, to that magic diamond. Again, the palms will be at that ASIS. Your thumbs will meet, pointing up towards the heart. Your fingers pointing down towards the root, towards the legs, towards the floor. Feel the spine long here, rooting the tailbone, just like Ali's doing here. Those shoulders pulled back, long spine. And then inhale, reach the arms forward and up. Exhale, hinge your hips, fold forward, hands land, right foot steps back. Right knee comes down and 90-90 low lunge. Inhale, reach the arms forward and up. Think of lengthening those shoulders. Hands come down, step back for plank. Lower your knees, or if you like it without the knees, you can lower all the way to the ground. We'll keep the head of the arm bones lifted, but make sure the shoulders feel ready for that. Pull back your hands in cobra, inhale, root your tailbone, and then press back into the hands, come up through plank. You can use your knees for that, fold yourself in half, use the strength of the abdominals to fold yourself in half into downward facing dog. Big breath in here. Feel just a little lifting of the ribs, a little more pushing into the hands. So good here. Right foot steps forward, left knee comes down. Inhale, arms reach forward and up. Big breath in here. Feel that lifting of the diamond. Hands come down, step to the top of the mat. Load it, exhale and hinge. Inhale, arms reach forward and up. Exhale, hinge those hips again. Hands land, left foot steps back, left knee comes down, 90-90 low lunge. Use that left glute to lift you up here, get long in the spine. Hands come down, step back for plank. Again, option is to use the knees on the ground. Support yourself, lower all the way to the ground, keep the head of the arm bones lifted. Pull back your hands in cobra, really feel those shoulders draw down onto the back ribs, so good. And then press into the hands, rise up through plank. Fold yourself in half, downward facing dog. Feel the weight is equal between the hands and the feet. Step your left foot forward, your right knee comes down, 90-90 low lunge. Inhale, reach the arms forward and up. Core is on and strong here. Hands come down, step to the top of the mat, exhale. Inhale, arms reach forward and up. This next flow starts off the same. Exhale, hinge at the hips, hands come down, step the right leg back, right knee comes down and 90-90 low lunge. So first, feel that diamond, draw in, and then let's all bring our hands to that diamond. And again, we'll want to feel that diamond just in front of the torso here. Take a breath in, gather into the diamond, and as you exhale, feel that diamond drawing back, supporting the low back region. And we'll keep our left hand in front. Slide your right hand to the low back, and then feel like you could sandwich those two together here. Now, from here, one more big inhale. We're gonna tuck the right toes, pick up the right knee, turn and pivot to the right for side lunge. Feet are parallel. They might have a little turn out to them. We'll step back into the right hip. Now feel your diamond, your fire still gathering together, holding you steady here. Press into the right foot, side lunge to the left. We'll press into the left foot and side lunge to the right. So we're just keeping this little panini sandwich shieling, sitting back into the hips, keeping that core engaged, long in that spine. Front of the throat is lifted, and we're reaching through the top of the head. Breathing, moving through the side, finding a little bit more freedom, right? So often, right? We get stuck going forward and back, but there's a side door too. All right. Now, one more time, sit into the right hip. Now we're all going to transition to the front of the mat in high lunge. So toes point forward, adjust those feet to stand on the train tracks, bend the right knee. You still have your panini press sandwiching forward. Now you can bring the hands to either side of the pelvis. Load the left leg, single leg balance, right knee comes up. And I want you to take your left hand on top of your right leg, press it into it and resist it. So lift it up and then fire that iliopsoas up. We're feeling that, right? Then step that right leg back to high lunge. Good, let the right knee bend, so that right glute activate here. Load the left leg, right knee flexes, right hip flexes, press that hand into it. One more time, stepping it back. One more time, bringing it forward. Single leg balance, left hand presses into that right leg, really resist it, pull that diamond in, and then we'll step our right leg back, hands come down, step back to down dog. Left foot goes back and meets the right. Now we're gonna take our dog for a little bit of a walk here. So like we did in our crawling, but now with our down dog, step your right leg forward, your left hand forward, and then step your right hand forward, your left hand forward. Then you can, again, move that back a couple times, really good, and forward. So even just as hard to instruct it as to do it. You're moving your right hand with your left foot and your left foot with your right hand, just back and forth a few times. Feeling that fascial freedom, using that lift of the flame, using the lift of the fire. Come to your down dog in the middle of the mat, really good, and walk the hands back. We're gonna take a reverse squat. So we'll slide our hands up our legs, press them for a little tension, feel that spine nice and long. Bring the hands back to either side of the pelvis, wiggle the feet together, We're gonna squeeze the legs together, press into the toes, like you're a rocket ship here. Feel that diamond gathering together, and then we'll tiptoe it forward. So we'll do a little tiptoe, and come all the way to the top. Very nice. Heels land, and inhale, arms reach forward and up. Exhale, hinge the hips, hands come down, left foot steps back. 90-90 low lunge. First, arms reach forward and up. Use that flame to give you the length, and then exhale, temper it. Bring the hands back to that diamond. As you inhale here, gather into the diamond, and then exhale, feel that diamond pull back and in, sidelines of the body, lengthening the ribs away from the hips. And then we'll keep our right hand in front, and the left hand will move back behind us. Now, I want you to take another breath here, and like a panini press, you want to feel this gathering together. And it's not just that front line to back line, but it's the sides, the top to the bottom as well. Then tuck the left toes, squeeze the left glute, pick up the left knee and turn to the left. Keep the hands in that panini press, but as we side lunge to the left here, we want to sit back into the left hip. Press into the left foot and side lunge to the right. Back to the front of the mat and then back to the back with a side lunge to the left. So back and forth a few times. Again, whole time we're trying to move that femur bone back in space, create a little bit more movement for it by moving through this frontal plane. Core is on here, shoulders back, we're feeling that power. And then one more time, side lunge to the left. We'll bring ourselves to our high lunge facing the front of the mat. So toes turn, left knee bends. Left glute is on here, hands come to either side of the pelvis. Once again, spread the toes of the right foot and load that left leg. Single leg balance, right hand shifts on top of the left leg, and we're actively lifting that left leg up into that right hand, pressing it down. Now step that left leg back, high lunge. You load it, sink into it a little bit, but with energy, lightness, press into that right foot, lift that left knee up, flex it, press that hand into that leg, and then send it back. Left toes land, right knee bends. One more time, load it, single leg balance, hip flexion, right hand presses into that left thigh, step that left leg back, load that left big toe. And then from here, hands land, step back to downward facing dog. Big breath in here. So as you press into the hands, feel like the ribs are lengthening away from the hips, get all that space into it. So good. And then from here now, look at your hands, move your left hand, your right foot forward, your right hand, your left foot, and then your right hand, your left foot, your left hand, your right foot back. And again, just forward and back. You run out of a little bit of space, you're welcome just to kind of make it a short little forward and back. And we'll come to our down dog in the middle of the mat. And then from here, walk it all the way back to that reverse squat. Slide the hands up the legs, rise up all the way, hands on either side of the pelvis. This time, if we want, we can interlace the fingers, do our little rocket ship move, tie those fingers together, push into the toes, squeeze it, and tiptoe walk it all the way back to the top. Very nice. Heels land, and we'll just do 2 sun salutation A's, but feel free to do more. Again, pretty hot here in Philadelphia today, so we'll get it going with 2. Inhale, arms reach forward and up. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Hands come down, step or hop back to plank. From here in your strong plank, lower all the way to the ground. Head of the arm bones stay lifted. Pull back your hands in cobra. Inhale, long in the neck. So good. Push into the hands, rise up through plank. Fold yourself in half. Downward facing dog. Big breath in here. Exhale. You can hop or step to the top of the mat. Inhale, arms reach forward and up. One more here. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Hands come down, step or give a little hop back. Plank pose, strong, lower all the way to the ground, head of the arm bones stay lifted, pull back your hands in cobra, strong in that core, root that tailbone, and then push into the palms, up through plank. Remember, you can use your knees for support, fold yourself in half, downward facing dog. One big breath here, fill up your back like it's a big balloon, and then as you exhale, press into the hands, feel the weight is equal between the hands and the feet, like your forearms are lifting away from the floor. Let that flame lift you up and hold you up. One more breath here, and then step your left foot forward and rise up to high lunge. So once again, as we rise up to high lunge, we'll bring our hands to our diamond, check in with it, feel that diamond gather together in the center, and then move your hands to either side of the pelvis. Keep your left hand on your left hip crease, but move your right hand onto the top of your left leg, just above your knee, and then weight shift forward onto the left leg, flexing your left hip for a bent knee airplane. Really good. Diamonds holding us up, giving us that sense of lightness. This is a little bit different. Press into the left foot, As your right knee comes forward, we'll flex the right hip and we'll roll the right thigh out, external rotation. Remember, like we did in our dolphin, using the flame to find the freedom. Roll the right thigh in, extend the right leg back to bent knee, airplane, balancing on that left leg. We got to really squeeze our left glute, grab that floor at the toes. So good. Press into that left foot, rise back up. You flex the hip and then roll that thigh out. Really good. Hands on the pelvis helps us feel that hip movement. Come back to that bent knee airplane. As the right leg goes back, the left knee bends. You can straighten out the right leg though and really drive through that right heel. One more time, press into that left foot and roll that right thigh out, external rotation. So that's going to prep us for somewhere else. We're going a little bit later. Now roll that right thigh back in, step the right leg back, and open for warrior two on the left leg. Arms reach out opposite directions, and then bring your hands to the diamond. So we'll do 3 of these, and they'll kind of progress as we go. First one is hands in the diamond. We're lengthening the sides of the ribs away from the hips. So breathe into your diamond here in warrior two. Then exhale, reverse your warrior, and think of peeling your left ribs away from the left hip. Now come back up, inhale. We'll think warrior two at the torso. And then exhale, draw into your diamond and pull your right ribs away from your right hip. Press into your right foot. Really feel long in the sideline of the body here. Diamond is strong. So now come back through, inhale, warrior two. Keep the right hand on the diamond and reach the left arm forward. You can flip the left hand, exhale, reach up and reverse. So we're still pulling our left ribs away from the left hip, reaching with that left shoulder now, a little extra. You come back through center, inhale, and we can bring our left forearm to our left thigh. Right hand stays on the diamond. Draw into the diamond as you exhale. That'll help you lengthen the right side, and then finish that off by pressing to your right foot, squeezing your right glute, really giving that length on the sideline of the body. Inhale, come back up, left arm out. You can keep your right hand here on the torso for a reminder, or reach it back here. And then reverse, right arm can go down your leg for a little support, but mainly to help you get that lift of the left arm up, give it that space. Come back through center, inhale. Left arm, left leg, right arm can sweep over the right ear. Press into your right foot, really clear that connection. Now here's a place where I will definitely grab a block. We're going to the back of the mat. So twisted crescent, transition to the back of the mat. You can follow that right arm around, pivot on the toes, left hand lands inside the right foot. So when I'm doing it, I'm usually on the medium height of the block. You can see Allie likes it there, just a hand on the ground. Right hand comes behind the pelvis. And then I want you to bring your mind to your left shoulder blade, lean into that scapula, and without dipping the hip at all, rotate the ribs open to the right. Really, really good. So that'll be really good there. And bring it in just a little bit more. Good. Awesome. Let the left ear fall to the left shoulder. Press into that left palm. Really lean on it. And we're allowing for the fire just to clear and cleanse all this stuff in the right side of the shoulder. So just like Allie has here, that left ear release, relaxing, letting it go. Still pushing into that left big toe mound and really firing up that left glute. Lean on that left shoulder, let that upper core support you. One more breath here. And now we're gonna move it to primal hops. So release, turn to the left, side lunge to the left, side lunge to the right. Now as we're side lunging here, left and right, we can start to tap our hands down. Now, if you start to like the tap of the hands down, what you might do is just kind of land your hands on the ground and give yourself a little hop to a side. And land your hands again and a little hop to the side. Yeah. And just like we're gathering around the fire, right? Maybe sharing a new move or a dance that we learned today. Taking our primal hop, tapping into, gathering it together. All right. Now go from your primal hops and you'll just find like a straddle in the middle so we can walk our hands back to the front. Step the left foot back to meet the right, downward facing dog. Big breath in here. Exhale, step the right leg forward and rise up for a high lunge. Inhale, arms reach forward and up. So right leg is forward, left knee is bent here, left glute working so good. Now from here, right hand stays on the right hip crease, move your left hand on top of that right thigh. It's gonna be like a little buttress here to support you just above the knee. Now, as you lean into that right leg, come to bent knee airplane, the right knee will be bent, but the left leg can stay straight, reaching out through the back of the leg. Press into your right foot, rise all the way up, left knee bends. Flex that left hip, and now we're gonna roll it out to the side, bring it back through center, extend it back, bent knee, airplane. So another option is if you really feel that instability, you can have that toe tap down on the ground and then lift it up, but press back into that right foot. Let's come back up, single leg balance, roll that left thigh out, bring it back to neutral, extend that left leg back. Buttress that right leg. More important to feel supported in the core here. Toe can tap down for a little extra, and then press into that right foot one more time, flex your left hip. Now roll that left femur bone out, external rotation. So good here, using our own feed forward feedback to get that hip opening. Close off the left hip, step the left foot back, warrior two. So land that left heel, reach the arms out to start so you can take up that space in the back. And then as you exhale, bring your hands together in front of that diamond here. So you want to feel your diamond. First one, we're holding that diamond. Big inhale here. As you exhale, lift your right ribs away from your right hip and really shine that heart up to the ceiling. With an inhale, come back through center. Exhale and warrior variation, left ribs peel away from the left hip. Really push into your left foot and let that left glute do the opening. Come back through center, big inhale. Now reach your right arm forward. And as you flip your right hand, reverse. Right ribs peel away from the side of the hip. Oh, so good. Let that left ear fall. Come back through center. Left hand's in front of the diamond. Right forearm on the right thigh. Press into that left foot. Lean forward, warrior variation. Those left ribs peel away from the left hip. Back up, warrior two. Arms reach out. Exhale, reverse. Left hand can come down the back leg. We're still thinking ribs away from the hip on the right side. Pull back in, inhale. Exhale, draw into the diamond, right forearm, right thigh, left arm reaches over. It's that drawing into the diamond that creates that length on the left side body. Again, if you already have that block at the back of the mat, get ready for that twisted crescent. We're gonna go to the back, follow the left arm around, pivot on the toes. Right hand lands inside that left foot. Press into that right hand. Bring your left hand to the back of your sacrum. You wanna feel like you could balance a glass of water on there. And then once you have that sacrum balanced out, lean on that right shoulder blade and start to think of peeling your ribs away from the hips. Really let your right ear fall to your right shoulder and allow yourself that sense of alleviation and release for the neck. It might even feel good to do like a little through the lips breath, like a amazing, right? The horsey breath. Now, again, keep lifting that right hip. So maybe close this off a little bit and lift this up. That's good. And now lean more into your right. Good. Awesome. Lots of opening happening there, but really supported. And then we'll bring our left hand down. Let's turn back to the right for primal hops. But again, that'll be side to side lunges. So turn to the right, hands tap down, step back in the right hip, hands tap down, step back in the left hip. Now you can stick like that. You can also keep the hands up at the hips, or we can just kind of land our hands, sorry, a little bit in the middle of the mat, get a little hop to the side, land it, little hop to the side. So those are all just options. You can tap those fingers down, you get a little hop and land. Remember, think primal hops are all about like that sense of primate freedom, right? Monkeys are certainly free creatures. All right, let's get one more side lunge to the right, and we'll walk our hands back to the front, walk it all the way around, step your left foot to meet your right. Let's put this whole kit and caboodle together. Obviously, feel free to throw in a sun salutation L or something like that. You really have some time. You really want to feel that heat. It's not quite as hot where you are as it is where we are. Otherwise, when you're ready, come on up to the top of the mat. Again, maybe, you know what, I'll spoiler alert, we had that twisted crescent near the back of the mat. So if you want to, maybe just leave a block at the back of the mat. That can be a good strategy to have it. Let's all take that sip of water. We'll come to your mountain pose in your diamond position, hands on top. So find that diamond real quick, good. And bring the thumbs over the solar plexus, our hands just above the pubic symphysis, our palms resting from those ASISs. Feel the tailbone root, shoulders pull back, top of the head. Feel that fire, the sense of gathering. And now we're gonna find that lightness to the element. So inhale, reach the arms forward and up. Exhale, hinge your hips. Hands land, right foot steps back, right knee comes down, 90-90 low lunge. Inhale, reach the arms forward and up, and then bring your hands back to that magic diamond. We'll have our right hand in front, left hand comes behind. Take another big inhale here. Exhale, draw front line into the back line. Tuck your right toes, pick up that right knee, turn to the right. Let's take some side-to-side lunges. So now you can free your hands. They can come to the hips. You can put a little boogie in your tissue, a little side-to-side rotation. You can have those arms out long. Maybe even do a little touchdown here. Whatever is feeling good for you. I wouldn't even stop you if you want to do a little light hop there. We'll be hopping again in a second. So you decide what you're feeling. Gather around that fire. Follow that third eye too. For today's purposes, our third eye, it's going to be our core. We're going to trust our core to move us. All right, one more side lunge to the right. Now turn back to the front, high lunge. So this will be a little bit different. We got a little ball change move here. We're going to load our left leg, right knee comes up. Instead of pressing it, step it back, transition to the right foot. So lift the left and then press that left, lift that right knee. So it's a little ball change. We go to the right ball, left, and then we load that left, drive that right. Might be like a little double hop move. So you ball change, hop off that left. But remember, the hop is optional, so you don't have to do it. But if you're feeling that lightness, if it feels ready, go for it. All right, 3, 2, and 1. Let's all step right leg back, hands come down, downward facing dog. So in this down dog, we're gonna hold here, weight is equal between the hands and the feet. Take your left hand and grab your right leg. So grab under you, and you'll either grab like your ankle, your shin, your thigh, whatever feels best there. Keep pressing into that right hand, really feel that support from the side. Then bring that left hand down, your right hand grabs underneath. Again, use that fire to lift it up. We're getting a little stretch into those obliques. Lengthening and challenging that shoulder stability. Right hand comes down. Walk it all the way to the back of the mat. Slide your hands up your legs. Stand tall at the back. Again, we can check in with that diamond real quick here. This will be a little bit different. So starting it off here, we are going to load our right leg and bring our left knee up in front of us. Hands can then transition to either side of the pelvis. Now you have your diamond on. Extend your left leg forward. Left toe lands, left heel lands. Bent knee airplane. We've been here before. Right leg extends back. Press into your left foot. Right knee comes up. And extend your right leg. Land your toe. Land your heel. Load it. Bent knee. Airplane. Sit back into that right hip. Press in that right foot. Bring that left knee up. Hip flex. Extend left leg. Toe. Heel. Bent knee. Airplane. Awesome. Core is on here. And then pressing that left foot. Bring that right knee to flex. Now this is different. Roll that right thigh out, cross it over the left thigh. So roll the right thigh out, cross the right ankle over the left thigh, sit back for figure 4. Almost forgot where we were going there, but now it all is coming together, gathering around the fire. Sitting back into the hips, just like you see how Allie's got her hands on her hips, helping herself sit back into those hip flexors. This spine, so nice and long, really set and balanced. Big breath in here. Exhaling. So 2 little options here. We can stay in our figure 4, or if you want to try it out, we have a little inversion opportunity. You could send that right leg back, bring the hands down, lean into it. Maybe just press off those toes. It'll lean into the scapula, all different options. All right, let's all uncross that right ankle. Right knee comes back up, right foot steps back. This is different. Goddess. Land the right heel, land the left heel. Roll those thighs out. Root the tailbone here. Right forearm, right thigh, left arm reaches over. Maybe you push into the left foot and extend that left leg a bit. And then you come back through warrior or a goddess. Left forearm to left thigh, right arm reaches over, pressing that right foot. So it's goddess, you could goal post, and then forearm to thigh, left arm over. Goddess, arm to leg, reach the opposite over. Maybe press through the foot, just an option. We're really growing the fire here. This is our whew. So make sure you have a block handy at the back of the mat. We'll come back through center, turn to the back, land that left hand inside that right foot, twisted crescent. Left hand can also be on a block. Feel free to bring your left hand nice and wide. It almost like can't be too wide here. Now, as you're leaning into that left hand, you want to feel that support of the hip. This is so good. Rotate from the ribs, and then feel like you could pull your femur bone back in space, and it might start to straighten the knees just a little bit, but don't focus so much on the knee being straight as really feeling that spaciousness into the femur bone. Good. Keep pulling that shoulder back. Yeah, that's doing a lot to help that length. Left ear falls to the left shoulder. One more breath here. And then this is a little different too. We're going to unwind to the front of the mat for monkey freedom. So this is the Ariel move. We're in down dog and we're walking our dog. Now, what makes monkey freedom a little different than baby bear walk or walking the dog is that monkeys are not bound by the mat. So you can start to explore. You can go off the mat a little bit, just a little bit, to the side, turn around, and right, like monkeys are free. And there's definitely one thing we know about monkeys. Monkeys are strong. Monkeys strong, everybody. All right, so monkeys also sometimes need a little help settling down. Let's get to the middle of the mat. Step your right foot forward, bring your left knee down. Seated spiral. We're gonna feel our flame here, gather around the fire. So everyone take a seat around the fire. Right ankle crossed over the left thigh. I like to sit up on a block for this. So medium height, under, gets my pelvis in line, just what I need. Hands over the center, and just feel. So just invite you to breathe now. Feel that releasing, but that length of the spine. We want to cultivate that sense of freedom that our brothers and sisters, those primates and monkeys seem to be able to tap so easily into. They're such virile, powerful creatures. We're also gifted with this sense of control as people, especially in our muscular system. So perhaps taking the best of both worlds, joining them together, our power and our sense of control, our ability to be gentle and soft with things. Uncross your right ankle from your left leg. We're coming to a flash dance. So left foot is just inside that right leg, just like Ali has set up. She set it up so nicely here. You'll bring your left hand outside your left hip, then press into that left side and extend the hip forward. Good. Like Ali's doing here, let that right ear fall to that right shoulder. Keep a little press on the inside of your right foot and really extend that right hip. Right glute is working. And then you'll come down and go ahead, come to a quadruped and take a few cat cows. So for cat cow, we'll go ahead and pull the chest forward, lift the gaze, lift the tailbone, and then tuck your chin in, push into the hands, spread your shoulder blades, let a little wave ripple up your back, or down your back and into your tailbone. Then lift the tailbone, wave comes right back up. It finishes lifting that chin. And then again, tuck that chin in, let a little ripple of the wave come back through. So you're doing a very nice deep spinal flexion, and then you're coming into a nice full spinal extension. And just for the time of class, let's go ahead, take one more pull through, one more push, and then tuck your toes, rise up to downward facing dog. You can do a little hop, step to the top of the mat, whatever you're vibing with, rise on up, inhale. Let's bring our hands back to that diamond. Check in real quick, take a full breath here, mountain pose. Hands come down by our side. Inhale, reach them forward and up. Exhale, hinge at the hips, hands come down, left foot steps back. 90-90 low lunge, left knee comes down, arms reach forward and up. Reaching those arms up, bring the hands down to a diamond. Bring your right hand in front, left hand behind. Tuck the left toes, pick up the left knee, turn to the left and side lunge to the left. So parallel the feet, they could have a little turnout to them too. And let's start moving those femur bones back in space. Then we can immediately bring our hands to the outsides of the hips, or we can bring them to the ribs, or we could do our little reach up touchdown. Whatever your fire is feeling here, again, fire, very light element, right? Think of a candle just sitting there on that piece of wax, so light, dancing there. Like a dancer here, just finding our freedom and putting a little boogie into our tissues. All right, here, let's come back to the front of the mat. So side lunge to the left and then turn to the front, high lunge. Here comes our little bouncy bounce, fire, light and lifted move. Load your right leg, drive that left knee, hip flexion. You may even press into the right toes and lift the right heel just to practice that. Left leg goes back, little ball change, drive that left knee. So the ball change, we come off that right ball for a moment, the two balls of the feet being right under those big toes. And I actually personally have trouble connecting into the big toe mound of my left foot. So particularly challenging on this side. I'm gonna give myself a little pat and tap of that left glute. Also feel free to follow Ali there, where she's pressing into the leg, doing such a good job controlling it, still getting that ball change, still getting that energy exchange and that good strong core, that fire in the pelvis. All right, let's drive that left foot back, land the hands, step the right leg back, take your right hand, grab under your left leg, twisted down dog move here. Breathe into the back, shoulders stay long, press into that left hand. Right hand comes down, left hand grabs underneath. We'll twisted down dog move here. Little side lengthener, big breath in, and exhale. Left hand comes down. Walk your hands back. From that reverse squat, we're gonna stand all the way up. Hands can stay on either side of the pelvis. This time, we will load our left leg and bring our right knee up. Right leg extends, right toe lands, right heel lands, bent knee airplane. Woo, challenging on that right side for me. Pressing that right foot, single leg balance. Left leg extends, left toe, left heel, bent knee airplane. Right leg goes back, left knee bends. Pressing that left foot, right leg extends, right toe lands, right heel lands, bent knee, or sorry, hip, flex that hip and then extend it. Sorry, bent knee airplane. Very good listening, very good remembering skills. Pressing that right foot and bring that left knee up. Single leg balance, roll that left thigh out, figure 4. Sit into the hips. So just like Ali has here, those hands on the hips, gonna be a nice reminder to sit into that femur bone, create that space. Let's all breathe in here. So as we breathe, feel that expansiveness in the sidelines of the body. Remember, core, so much more than just those abs, everything except our head on our limbs. Shoulders are pulled back, even our throat, pulled into the back of the neck. Maybe give a sigh out through the mouth, really access that upper core. Again, hold here in this figure 4, continuing to open up the hip, or you have an opportunity just to uncross that left ankle a little early to land the hands down. So a little standing L, and you can just get a little lean into it. If you really want to get that inversion, that little bit of press. All right, let's all uncross left ankle over the right thigh, step back and open up to goddess. So left heel lands, thighs roll out. Feel free to go as short and narrow with your goddess stance as you'd like, really. Goddess could look like this if the pelvis feels stable, A-okay. Goal post those arms, get left forearm, left leg, and reach that right arm over. Goal post, right forearm to right leg, reach that left arm over. We'll just go back and forth. And our option here is to press into our leg as we reach over and feel a really big, long extension through the sideline of the body. Go one more to the back, one more to the front, come back through goddess. And then again, here you want to have that block, transition to the back, twisted crescent. Right hand lands inside that left foot, left hand checks behind the glute and the sacrum real quick. So once that's even, then lean into your right shoulder, rotate from the ribs to the left, and let your gaze fall to the floor, let your right ear fall towards the right shoulder, and really good here. Yeah, that little lift of the hip. Now pull back with your left leg a little bit into the femur bone. And it's not so much about how much the leg straightens, but really just energetically feeling that pull back here into the top of the hip. Really awesome. Yes, good job. Sorry, I'm just gonna come around here and just give you a little encouragement to release that. Good. One more breath here. And then we'll get ready. Monkey freedom. All right, unwind everybody to the back, to the, oh, you know what, this is fine. Step your left leg back, monkey freedom, walk it out. And back. And then get off the mat, be a real monkey. You can throw those primal hops in there. Make sure, you know, you're not gonna bump into anything here, but you can do like little cartwheels around in a circle if you want. You're at the fire, let's gather it around. Let's trust our third eye, trust our intuition. We can do that once we've tapped into the body, once we've checked in with it, once we've seen how it's feeling, how it's going. All right, let's all face the front of the mat. Oh, somehow or another, right? Left foot steps forward, right knee comes down, seated, spiral, facing the left side. Sit up on a block if you like that. Hands in the heart center. Oh, so we're just feeling our fire, feeling our flame, elevating shoulders, putting it back. And again, fire is this underlying connection between people, right? Community, gathering on the fire, sharing in food together. One of those just peaceful things, right? Between people, you share a meal with people, right? Gesture of friendship, of love, kindness. Uncross your left ankle, come sit down. And maybe most importantly, as we come to this splash dance, lean on that right hand, lean into that right side, open up the left side by pressing into the left foot, just like Ali's doing so wonderfully here. You can let your ear release to the shoulder. let your gaze fall down. Really let the back of your right shoulder support you. Same way that that fire from within, this core supports you, so too, right? That fire that supports our community, keeps us going. Fire is so many things too, right? It's knowledge, it's passion, it's sharing. We'll bring it down. Come to quadruped and take a few cat cows here. So again, you can pull through with the hands and lift the gaze, lift the tailbone, and then drop the tailbone, drop the chin, let a little ripple come up your way or up your spine like a wave. Then again, you'll do that forward again, inhaling and exhaling. And as you exhale, again, just let that little ripple come all the way back up the spine. So as you pull through, comes right back down, lifting the tailbone last. And as you go back through, you just get a little ripple, rooting that tailbone. You can even throw some rib circles in there if you like your thoracic rib circle. And just make sure that if you go with some circles, that you get the circles the other way a few times. So it's just like cat-cow, only a circling aspect to it. Now we'll get ready for our final move, which will be a pigeon pose here before our Shavasana. So from pigeon pose, we're going to approach it in our quadruped. I like to even come up onto my fingertips and give myself even more room as I step my left foot forward. So you're in a 90-90 here. Wiggle your left foot over to the right side of the mat and plop down onto that outer left hip for a little ballet sit. And in this ballet sit, take your hands so that they line up with your right leg. Yeah, good. And then from here, take a breath. So we're feeling a little external rotation for that piriformis, a little relief for that all-important external hip rotator. We were working it today for that figure 4. Option here is to come down onto your forearms, increase your hip flexion. Now, this might be a nice stretch for you, so you're welcome to stay here. Our third and final option is to take your back leg. So on this side, it'll be the right big toe. Press the right big toe mound into the ground and roll your right thigh in, really from where that right hip plugs into the hip socket. So we're still maintaining, it's probably hard to see at the camera angle, but nice neutral pelvis. Even though we're tilted in a diagonal alignment with the floor, the low back is balanced here. We're creating the rotation around the ribs, and it's this rolling in of the right thigh that's encouraging that left thigh to release. And keep the core on, but you can even let your neck go here and give it maybe 2 more breaths. Just like we started, breathe all the way into the back. And when you're ready, let it go all the way through. And then feel free to stay longer, or when you're ready, come out the way we came in, which will be bending the right knee and pressing the toe, walking the hands back, press into the hands, slide your left leg back under for quadruped. And again, I like to push up onto my fingertips before stepping that right leg now through. Wiggle right foot over to the left and sit down on the right hip, ballet sit. Hands will line up with that front right leg. And breathe here. Second option is to come down onto our forearms. Really nice way to get pigeon, protect the knees. Take a breath here. Core stays on. If you liked it on the other side, try tucking your left toe under and rolling the left thigh in. And your knee can stay on the ground or it can lift. They're both fine. I find it's really just a matter of like how into it are we getting. And again, we're keeping the pelvis nice and level here, but we're creating this release on the right hip by actively rolling that left thigh in. And your neck can go, but keep your core engaged. Take about 2 more breaths here. Again, you're welcome to stay longer as well, but really breathe it into your whole back. Let that fire clear the space. And as you exhale, connect back to that third chakra. For today's purposes, our third eye guiding us. Now to come out, you'll do all the same moves. Uncrest your left toe, rebend your left knee, walk your hands back, press into your hands, and this time come onto your back. So come all the way down and find Shavasana. Oh, so after a long night at the fire, we can find our release. And in this Shavasana, just take a few breaths. You can be laying long, just like Hallie is here. You're also welcome to keep the legs walked in close to the torso, keep the low back long. I like to drop my knees in together when I do that. Another option is bring your block under your skull. Just know that you are not beholden to whatever position you began with, but that you are welcome to change that as you go throughout this movement. Let the practice serve you. And again, just coming back to ourselves now, resetting and noticing. Do we treat ourselves like a loving community, paying attention to all the individual needs, but then also coordinating how each part can benefit one another all together as one? So we gather around the fire, this core, it just helps us get our physical sense of gathering the community and how we can gather our own energy to treat ourselves as a loving community. Please feel free to take your Shavasana for longer, pause the recording, and just remain as is. You can hit play here when you're ready. From your laying position, let the legs go long. And with another inhale, maybe reach the arms up and overhead. Feel that fire lift you and stretch you out the whole way. Let it go and just You can bring the limbs back in towards your core, wrap the arms. Even as this fire starts to fade to embers, still feeling that residual heat. And we roll over to one side, it can be any old side. Just make sure it's a side that feels comfortable, and you make your way up to a seated position that feels authentic and dignified for you to be in. When we arrive, again, just like we're gathered here, gathering around our physical fire, gathering around this modern fire of technology, taking our classes together. And again, physically tapping into our fire so that we know how to create that fire and how to gather our own community energetically, physically. The fire might fade, and then have to put the fire out for necessary reasons, but just knowing how to build that fire and the benefits that that fire brings to us, that's what it's all about. Learning how to create that fire so that we can restart it again, regather the community. So I'll take another big inhale into the nose. As you sigh it out, really breathe it all the way through, like you were seeing the last guest at a party out of the house and saying goodbye. And when you're ready, just let that breath return to its natural rhythm and cadence, and just let yourself appreciate all the space that you've created for yourself, that you've cleared for yourself. We can bring the hands to any position that feels comfortable, resting on the body, over our heart together. And the light in me honors the light that shines in each and every one of you. And so I bow to the fire that burns within you, and this fire that joins us all together, that we're all truly gathered around in life. To that I say, namaste.